Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Creighton Show. Another exciting show and definitely another exciting guest. In studio, we have no other than Mr. Corey Young. And let me tell you why Corey's here today. He's a musical engineer. And he brought to my attention something I've been thinking about for quite some time. What happened to the lyrics in music? What happened to his storytelling? We tend to have lost that, and he is really plaguing him. He wants to do something about it because not only is he a musical engineer, but he shows people how to take that and bring that art of music back to storytelling. Corey, welcome to the show, Big Dog.
Thank you for having me.
Sit back, relax. Let's have a nice conversation. You look great, man.
I appreciate you. I'm trying to take care of myself, like the beach program.
I like that outfit. What do you do? What are you doing currently? I know you run the fashion mall. Tell the viewers a little bit about who you are. Tell me a little bit about who you are.
My name is Corey. I go by Cold Fall. That's cold like temperature change and fall like the season. But Corey Young is my name. I go in this city. I like to try to help people dress as sharply as they can. It's a tool we can use, and I'm not afraid to do it.
Believe me, every time I see you, you're definitely sharp dressed from head to toe.
Thank you, brother. Thank
But and today you want to go deeper. You know, we talked and we trying to have you on the show for quite some time. We, keep passing. And we both have busy schedules, but now you're here, and thank you for coming onto the show. But you brought something up that I think we don't even think about anymore. And I listen to music, naturally with the IM Beast radio station. We play tons of music, and naturally I always go back to that music that has a storytelling method to it. Like we were just listening to the SOS band and so forth. But why is it so passionate for you, and why don't other people think the way that you're thinking?
there's um, there's a songwriter I work with. His name is Terrence. He actually doesn't live too far from here. Um, he was breaking it down to me one day, like SOS band specifically. It's just something that they were doing that's in that somewhere in between the melody, them knowing how much rest they need to give you, them knowing when the band needs to pick it up. It's jam sessions. Jam sessions are just people around each other, being unafraid to play and make mistakes, and knowing how these things are going to mesh well. That's kind of what I try to do with people I work with. I work with a lot of, you know, I'm on my way up. I'm working at it, but I see a lot of perfectionists in their craft, and I see a lot of people that make what we like to call happy mistakes. You know,
What's a happy mistake?
happy mistake. That chair fell at the perfect time on rhythm with the other percussive instruments. That thing you made, that noise you made right before you spoke, but it didn't disrupt anything in the song. You know, it's just these other aspects we're missing. The songwriting. You know, the engineers getting a boatload of it. I know so many great ones. That's why I even feel confident enough to call myself an engineer to this day,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the great ones that have shared their secrets with me and have allowed me the opportunity to watch them work. And then knowing I've got that pat on the back, not physically, but just they're like, okay, he doesn't need me as much because he can take over on that, so I can leave him in that room. He'll do what he needs to do.
What's the correlation that you notice between today's engineers and the past engineers?
They're superstars. They're really great. Somewhere in between a super producer and a audio engineer, just catching everything. You know, there's this method that a lot of people mention. It's got I'm trying to say, oh, you sorry, the punching in aspects.
Right.
You know, you have artists that are, whether you love them or hate them, artists like Jay-Z. He has songs where he'll reference his engineer. He said, "Guru, I know you're spoiled, because I'm going to one take this entire thing where you don't have to go in and clean up a whole bunch of audio."
I get it. And the same thing is in with video. You want that seamless flow to make my job and your job a lot more easy. But a lot of people, whose responsibility is it to know that? That's the thing. Like I could tell. I just did a show right before you came here. I was doing a show, and this is what I found out in the video game in audio. People have a hard time with the easiest thing, and that's a 30-second drop or clip. Who's responsible? Who's responsible for knowing that? Is it the writer, the producer, the engineer, how do we make something simple for people?
I think it goes down to that. Oh man, it's a feeling. I don't know if you feel that way. It's just kind of like post workout. You know when it's complete because there's almost that rush of euphoria. I don't need to go to the bar and have a drink. That workout was, that released all the, what is it, serotonin. It released all of that for me.
Right.
It's kind of like I'm trying to get that feeling from, um, just the engineering aspects for me came from wanting to help others, help myself finish songs. Um, Knowing when they're done, a lot of it for me, I'm a minimalist. I don't need as many instruments as many other people will need, for me to be satisfied because it's in the storytelling. You can accomplish so much. I want you to hear a couple things that you can move with. It doesn't have to be, slang based or anything.
Now, did you come from a musical background?
No, no, sir, not at all.
When did the music bug bite you? The
Uh,
writing and instrument playing and so forth.
I think it's when got like somewhere around ages 6, 7 where gospel started to seep in. I'm hearing different types of Christian rocks.
Isn't it always gospel for our for our culture?
Yeah.
It never like you never just go out and just here's Michael Jackson. It always seemed to start in the church.
I have a reason for that. Or to my understanding, is just some of the most powerful artists I've heard really are starting in the church. Some of the strongest vocalists. I'm not saying every single strong vocalist is coming out of church, but something in the hymns, the way that they structure songs, how actual choirs influence how people stack vocals and things of that nature. It's unbeat. The organist of the church, even music that non-believers are using. They're using a lot of it's theirs in their music as well.
What do you mean when you say non-believers in music?
Um,
What do you mean by that?
like those that technically would not align themselves with anything that has to do with faith based or a certain religious background. Like that's still in their music. They can't escape it. It's just some of the strongest that there is in music, I believe.
You talk about engineering. You talk about song lyrics. We talk about artists. My question here is, what has changed? Is it technology? What has actually changed between now and then?
I think it's so. I'm having a conversation with a California-based producer that I'm working with. He's been allowing me to share a couple things that I've learned along the way. For him, like our conversation is, I think there's too many. You're seeing too many people not showing their process in full and entirety. You're seeing a 15-minute clip of them producing some of the greatest work, but they could have been working on this for years. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Too many plugins.
Go ahead.
Not enough focus on just. I told him, I said, man, one thing at a time. I just need a 15-second loop, like that jam session. I'm trying to get as close to that jam session if I can't outsource and get the band in with me.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do for 30 seconds that's going to let me write continuously, and I'm going to be able to tell you something substantial. That's all that matters.
Why do you think that we lost that art of telling a musical story? Like, let me go here. Let me go here. I can probably answer this myself. I remember, I won't call it the foundation of rap, but let's get real. I remember the Curtis Blows, the Run DMCs. I saw marketing evolve with the sneakers and so forth. I saw the songwriters, the Babyface, the SOS, the Whispers. We can go on, and we saw that even before the Delphonics and the past. But somewhere along the line, it was lost. Did AI, to your opinion, cripple the ability here with being imaginary and telling a great story? Because let's get real, even the rappers, you had like Ice Cube, you had Ice T, Cop Killer, these when even when you talk about a artist like Ice-T that did Cop Killer. That shit went, we call it now, viral. What happened with telling a story that makes sense?
I think takeaways. When we really think about it, there's this thing. Real, I'll put it like this: there are certain artists that feel a certain way about music they actually want to have played in their home.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of put it in perspective like that. Like, so one of my best mates, he's just had his third daughter. I just think about it from this perspective. Like, my niece, my nephews, my mother, for example. Um, any young ones I'm around, like it's kind of like that. If you happen to catch a slip of me, what it is I'm playing, was I on my P's and Q's, and is this something that we can do full circle? My grandmother's not here on this earth, but I treat it all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think she ever knew that I would come around to want to do music to this degree. I have family that ask me, though they haven't heard as much of it. It's just, what is it when they hear it? Am I gonna be? I shouldn't feel any sense of embarrassment about what it is I'm putting in. I'm putting in this amount of work. You know,
Tell me about your music. What kind of, what genre is it? And what is the message in the music that you're putting out and getting ready to put out?
it's so I really put myself in a category like a singer songwriter. But these songs will hit you in the gut and the chest like a rap song. So I have something that can keep up with your tempos and with your flows. But again, I can't embarrass myself out here. I want other people to have tools to make themselves look good and professional when they're carrying themselves. So the words have to also, I got this song. So there's this trending TikTok girl, and everybody's bashing her because she's like, oh, she kind of looks hippie, but is she appropriating the culture? Is she appropriating trying to look like a rave girl? So she's got this. I am abundant. So I'm like making a play on it, even though I'm kind of shooting my joke at her. I said I try to clear that whole thing up. I see what she's trying to do, but my song starts off. It's a 7-minute song, by the way. I said I like advice I give to others, and it also works for myself. Smooth adjustments. Some can raise a light or two. So just kind of like that. Just
How did she? Did you send this to her on social
no,
media?
no, not at all. This song isn't out. I've been sitting on it for a while, but I like the feedback I've gotten on it. It's 7 minutes long. I wanted to always do one like that, but it could easily be cut to like 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
What was the feedback so far from it? What are people saying?
Surprisingly, because I know everybody has a shorter attention span these days.
Mm.
Everyone's been telling me like, hey, I listened to that. I just named it a time. It's a time stamp and the day it was on. So it's like 12:04 at like 4:11 or something like that.
Mm.
But everybody's been saying good things about it so far. My closest people have heard it so far. Yeah.
Who are you? I don't, I'm pretty sure you get told this a lot. Who are you most likely emulating? When you're crafting, are you going towards like a R. Kelly, like Freddie Jackson? Like where are you trying to go to? Which lane are you trying to stay in?
It's tough. It's by thing. Production wise.
Yeah, let's do production and let's do audio. I mean, let's do production, let's do vocal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
which one on the vocal and who on the producing side?
I say let me. Can I do one more?
Mhm.
Okay, so engineer Mike Dean, because it's kind of like whatever it takes to get it done.
So he's a groundhog. He
you
gonna
know,
work 24/7 if that's what it takes to get it to make a masterpiece.
Scarface, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Travis Scott now, plethora of others. He's everywhere.
Mhm.
I'd say producer wise, probably Kanye West, because I like in 2011, 2012, because it's like there's a thing I noticed. So I was talking to my friend T. He's a California friend. Um, there's a reason why you see 30 people on credits for songs where people have the budget. Like they're really trying to
Collaborate.
figure
Yeah.
out how they can get closest to an orchestra of some sort. Like
Mhm.
it takes a lot of minds to really keep it fresh enough, and keep yourself engaged too.
When you're producing your own music, like I said, who are you going with vocal wise? Who are you trying to go? What sound are you trying to? What sound and what message are you trying to get? Let's go here. Do it make sense? Because I'm a little older than you. Back in the day, 38th Street. I'm rolling down the street. I'm listening to, Keith Sweat was the man. You hear the old saying, a lot of babies was born when Keith Sweat came out. You know what I'm saying? So then you had the era of Babyface, Indiana's own. Everybody loved the smooth sound. Then you had the cross with, what's his name? John B. Yeah, still classic. Where are you at? Who are you? What sound are you trying to bring? Because what the whole deal is, they still had a message, but they had that smoothness with it.
This is a controversial one. And I don't try to be like either of these two, but this is like prime example of like if there's a sweet spot is in between these. It's like seeing Kendrick Lamar around the time of like, and I'd never seen him in person, but like, cause I'm listening to his music from 2009, 2010, crazy when it was just feature heavies and everything was mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing features like crazy. This is, I think, around the time of and when Section 80 was getting ready to come out. Obviously, Drake is where he's at around that time. Young Money is prominent and he's doing his thing amongst Nicki, Tyga, and all of them are doing their thing. But like those two around that time, like there's everything you need. Introspection, a young person that's hungry. You got swagger within that, and it's just like nothing feels muddy. You know what I mean? You want to hear more of them. You're like, oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
they got more music.
Well, see, a lot of people don't understand that people really didn't know who Lil Wayne was until he got on Young Lloyd. Just as a drop in a hook, and that one hook takes him to, wow. But I look at it deeper when I listen to these artists and go, you can see the change. His music went from just having a hook to some meaning. Let's go back to you. You talk about the lack of in music, and it has to do with the engineering. But now with technology, you really need the concerns that you're talking about?
Absolutely. We get burnt out. Like even for me, like watching how like Instagram is not as powerful as a tool as it once was. It's going through its Tumblr stage, and I love both of them. I've made a lot of connections on both. I just think it's in need of something that's a little bit more organic, and then we can also do a nice vivid connection in through there.
Let's talk about your music. How were you able to compete in a market that's now digitally blueprinted? And let's get real. People might say, okay, well, I got my stuff on Spotify. I got my stuff here. Okay, you can be in all the grocery stores, but let's get real. People really ain't buying your shit. So how do you stay competitive in a world where just because you have a digital blueprint, people still ain't buying your merch?
I think that competitive nature is like you cannot be afraid to fail, and I think most of the ones around me that are doing what they do. I have a specific almost like nickname for them what they do, and it sounds weird anybody else hearing it. Like so we go Dantes. He's been here with me since I was high school hopping. I went to 4 different high schools. When I spent my time in Arlington, coming in, you got the what is it? It looks like an airport because you got to go through the gates and everything. So Don, he's one of the first people to make me feel comfortable in this city. At a time I felt deeply uncomfortable. He always brings a trill aspect. So even though he's born and he's raised, here for the most part, it's a very southernlistic. He could be from Houston. He could be from Atlanta type of thing he's got going on in his music. He's very, very God centered in how he's making his music right now. So that's just Like I don't look to compete with these guys. I look for them to whoop my butt, and I get better and
Mhm.
whatever it is. Like it's same with my engineer. My engineer Cove, long term friend, staying with him. You know, as a young tyke when our power was out, so I'd go spend time with him. You know, and that's just something him and I never had to talk about because it's just like, hey, I got your back. He knows I got his back. You know.
What EPs have you dropped now that are going to be out that have made a name for yourself? How many MPs have you got? Is that what they call MPs? EPs? Yeah.
Um, I would be looking to do my first project.
So
I've been a
you're fresh
singles
in the
person.
game.
Yes, I've been a internet unreleased and singles person. But I'm like I've hoarded enough, so it's
What are you most nervous about?
oh
It's
man.
different when you're behind the what I tell people, you can be behind social media and nobody really knows, but now you're getting ready to do a shift. What are you most afraid of?
These are my like children. Like these are really my children. But I feel confident in them because I've held them for so long. I know like they just need to go on YouTube. I don't want any of the sound to be muddied from what we created. Apple Music's gonna compress it. I don't want to take a chance with any other streaming services. I just need them on YouTube. Um, Honestly, it's some samples I'm working with where I've sampled the song Fortnite. That's Taylor Swift's song, and I've used her vocals. I need to find a way to get this out there as well too.
When you sample, before we wrap up, when you sample people's music, and you brought up a extraordinary name, the great Taylor Swift, how do you get to do that without conflict of interest on her? Is her like when you sample her stuff? Is she tagged? Does she even know you're using her music? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people sample people's stuff. How do you bridge the gap without legal ramifications and making that uniquely yours? I wouldn't want to sample somebody's stuff and go, "Oh, well, the first thing that pops up is that's Taylor Swift's or blah blah blah." How do you do that and still be able to let people know this is your work?
I think it's a tough balancing game on that one. On that one, I'm not looking to compensate on anything that they've already done. Obviously, you know she's got great engineers and producers she works with, and they spend a lot of time making their formula. I'm just trying to introduce them to another funk if they allowed me to come produce for them one day, and I wouldn't miss for them.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, what are you trying to do? What message are you trying to deliver to the people?
I want people to think within the music, think as they're creating it, think about who's on the receiving end. I want you to actually have something like I have in these new songs. I'm stripping it way down. Like I'm talking it.
Are these new
Are you
songs
listening?
shorts?
I have some as short as 1 minute 30 seconds. A lot of them, 1 minute 50 seconds.
And each one of them has a message in them? Which
Um,
one is more dear to you? You got so much. Which ones are more dear to you?
the message,
Yeah.
the message. Long is it's a dangerous game. I don't want to try to play the aspect of how long can I hold your attention.
Okay. Okay. Now, what should the viewers get out of this interview with you today?
Think about the music you're consuming. It may not seem like a lot, but just really try to put something in your ears. Like for me, I like to start my day sometimes Adagio in G minor, just because it's one of the most beautiful compositions I've ever heard in my life. Um,
What was that again?
Adagio in G minor.
Okay, and why is that so important to you?
It makes
Start your day.
it's like it kind of puts every other sound you hear musically in perspective. You're like you might enjoy other music you listen to a little bit more after hearing it.
Wow, you brought something new to my game. I didn't know that. Okay, my last question. How can the viewers reach out to you and support you and follow your dream?
I go by Cold Fall on Instagram. Um, Also go by Corey Knight on Instagram. So definitely look for music this summer. I want to start with a few things and
Okay.
just see where it goes. But I need to get music out. It needs to be this summer.
Okay, so this summer, which one you gonna drop first?
I have have one that has been requested, so it's a little bit of a fun song for the summer. I don't want to go too crazy. So if I give you this fun song, it's a little bit okay. So he kind of sounds a little bit. Then I have to give you something really serious after.
All
So
right.
it might be a
Okay.
two piece.
Okay, sounds good. Corey, thank you so much for taking time out to come on the show and tell us about your project. Definitely got to have you come back and bring some more of your music and then feature your music on the I Am Beast radio station.
Thank you,
Ladies and
Beast.
gentlemen, we're going to look this one. We're going to let them know this has been another, and I do mean another exciting episode of the Andre. Wait, let me go here. Make sure you subscribe, share, like. Click that button. All it takes is one click to make a difference in your life or change somebody else's life. Corey, thank you for being on the show. This has
Thank you,
been
sir.
another exciting episode of Andre the Beast Creighton Show.